give me fire, give me double shot it down.
TNT Sports welcomes you live to Virginia as Advil presents Busch Series Racing from Richmond. 250 laps ahead for 43 drivers, including Matt Kenseth, the championship leader in the Winston Cup Series, former Busch Series champion Greg Biffle, and former Truck Series champion Ron Hornaday. Hi everybody, the TNT race family on the road at Richmond. I'm Bill Weber, glad you're here. Fifth place Ron Hornaday is just 79 points behind leader Scott Riggs in the chase for the Busch Series Championship. Last weekend, Riggs finished 17th, just the fourth time in the last 16 races he's finished worse than 9th. That's pretty good. But last Saturday at Darlington in Victory Lane, Brian Vickers, and that's not his biggest news. Let's start with that story and start with Dave Burns.
Well, it was announced this week, Bill, that Brian Vickers would be going to the Nextel Cup in 2004 with his sponsor, with Hendrick Motorsports. Who are we getting help from here? Oh, Kevin Harvick, thanks a lot. How excited are you, first of all?
Oh, super excited. It's awesome. I can't wait to get up here and race with punks like this. But I'm going to try to learn as much as I can from him while I can. I'm looking forward to it, and it's been an awesome year for the GMAC car. And to have GMAC go with me next year and be at Hendrick Motorsports, it's just an unreal experience.
What was the moment like, Brian, when they told you?
It's pretty big. There's not enough words to describe it. I mean, I could sit here for hours and tell you, but it's just the opportunity of a lifetime. It's everything everybody would think it would be, and I'm so thankful and looking forward to it.
And your car tonight, okay?
Yeah, I think so. We didn't get much practice, but I think it felt pretty good. We came here and tested. I'm happy with it.
All right, he will start outside row number 2. Matt?
Dave, by virtue of car owner points, Kevin Harvick starts right where he finished back in the spring, and that's first. Talking to the driver points leader, you got the championship car owner points starting on the pole. You have to like where you start, knowing track position is so important here.
Yeah, I mean, starting up front's pretty key. The car owner points is what we're all about here in this honey roasted payday Reese's car. So we're having fun, man. We got Sugar Ray on our.
Yeah, whered your posse go? They were right behind you,
man. They're hanging out. They're taking in the full race experience, so it's pretty cool for me and a lot of fun. So it's we're having fun with the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 tomorrow night, but tonight it's about the Busch car.
But the big unknown, though, not a lot of practice.
That's what keeps everybody coming back is the unknown of our sport. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I got to go to driver intros now.
You go ahead and go. They're calling your name. Kevin Harvick, he starts first, hoping to end first for his season's 4th victory. Marty?
Well, Matt, with 9 races left in the NASCAR Busch Series season, the championship race is just outstanding. 19 points separate Scott Riggs, the championship leader, and second-place man David Green. In May here, Green finished 9th, so this time around, his team brought a different, brand-new race car to this racetrack. Scott Riggs, let's talk to you about your race car, and what are the concerns as a championship leader coming to Richmond?
Just being careful. You know, we got to survive the first 150 laps and be around the end to race for it. Got a great race car. We finished 2nd here, and we just want to do one more position better.
Is it time, 9 races in the season, to keep one eye on him and one eye on the front of them trying to win these races?
Well, I think with all the people that are so close in the points, we need to keep an eye on just our race team and stay focused. And all these guys on Nesquik Ford, I think, have the same mindset I do. We're going to pull our blinds in, stay focused on our car, and that's all.
He's held the championship lead for 5 weeks, and Bill, tonight, anyone in that top 5 could lead here as a championship leader.
That's right, Marty. Do you get the feeling this is going to be one of those wacky Busch race Friday nights at Richmond? 250 laps for the Busch guys tonight. Tomorrow night, it's the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 for the Winston Cup Series, and our live TNT coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time with the Discover Card Countdown to Green. You'll hear from the stars as they get ready to go race. Dave Burns looks at kill switches in Winston Cup cars. Benny will introduce you to Joe Wernert. He drives the transporter for Jeff Burton's team and has 12 very little fans in Michigan. And we'll also go to a party with Matt Kenseth, but we won't be driving home. It's all tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on the Discover Card Countdown to Green right here on TNT, leading up to our live flag-to-flag coverage of the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. And remember, if you miss the countdown, you start the race a lap down. Now here's a guy who stayed on the lead lap all the way from Darlington to the Charlotte airport last Sunday night. And I still missed my flight. Alan Bestwick.
I tried.
You did.
Here with Wally Dallenbach and our special TNT guest commentator for the night, a man whose credentials here at this racetrack need no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyway. In 9 Winston Cup starts here, he's won 3 times, starts 14th in tomorrow night's race, And he's rubbed his share of fenders along the way, but he's found it very much to his liking here at Richmond, passing the master Rusty Wallace. Tony Stewart, three-time winner here at Richmond, joined us tonight. Glad to have you back on TNT. How you doing?
Thanks for having me back. We're kind of excited about tomorrow. We're not exactly sure about our Winston Cup car right now, but I know Zippy and the guys are down there in the pit still before the Winston Cup garage area closes tonight, making some changes to our Home Depot Monte Carlo for tomorrow. But pretty excited. I mean, we had a great night last night winning the Craftsman Truck Race for Andy Petrie in Monaco, and one of our favorite bands, Diamond Rio, was with us yesterday. So got a lot of guys in victory lane yesterday.
All right, you got all your plugs in. Now let's talk about tonight's race. I don't know about you guys. This is one of my favorite places to come see a race because the action's terrific. How about from behind the wheel?
Like Tony said, this place is so cool. It's a short track, but it's wide, and you can race on it. It's a very smooth racetrack. You can easily race side by side here, and we're going to see a lot of that and probably some more.
So when Weber said, is this going to be one of those crazy Busch Series Friday nights, you nodded your head up here and said, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure it will be. I mean, you look at Winston Cup practice today. I think we had 3 or 4 cars crash today, so you can imagine what it's going to be like tonight with the Busch Series cars here.
I can't quite see out the window to see if it's a full moon, but it doesn't seem to matter here at Richmond. It's going to be a wild night, plus the great championship fight. A lot to look forward to as we get the green flag waving here at Richmond. It's the NASCAR Busch Series here on TNT, and we're getting set to go. Oh, Benny. I forgot about Benny. Yeah, we had to deal with Tony to work here tonight. And so we wanted to give Benny the night off because Wally's going to drive 4 Busch Series races later, and he's going to take those nights off. But Benny didn't want the night off, so we had to find something for him to do. BP, what have we got you doing?
Oh, hi, Alan. You know, there's a lot of jobs.
BP.
There's a lot.
Point the microwave, would you? Point the microwave.
Oh, point.
That would be our director, Mike Wells, instructing Benny
What do I
Parsons.
need, Alan?
You got to point that thing where the receiving unit is, BP.
Okay.
Otherwise, the picture's all hash.
How about that? Is that good?
Is he good, Mikey?
Is that good?
It's a thing of beauty.
He's good. Okay.
I'm just trying to do some jobs tonight, Alan, that every week some guys do, like Lauren lugs this thing around every weekend here on TNT NBC and gives you those great pictures. So obviously, I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, you didn't do very well with that job, so maybe we'll have to send you on to something else for the night.
A lot more jobs coming tonight, folks. Promise.
All right. We'll follow BP's adventures and have us an exciting race, too. And we'll get it all going when we come back to Richmond here on TNT. Advil presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Richmond. It's brought to you by Advil. For strong, long-lasting relief, advance to Advil. AC Delco Automotive Parts, when the right way is the only way. And Supercuts, when it comes to hair, we know how it is. TNT Sports live at Richmond International Raceway, where the 26th race of the NASCAR Busch Series season is about to get underway. First, tonight's opening ceremony.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for our invocation. Here's Patrick Jones, Minister of Youth and Young Adults for the Mechanicsville Baptist Church.
Would you pray with me? God, we thank you for this time, this beautiful night that we can spend under your sky and under your stars. We thank you for a good night of racing, and we thank you for a great opportunity to spend with friends and with family. Lord, as we pray, we ask for your protection. Be with the drivers and their crews. Be with the workers and the volunteers and all the fans here tonight. Lord, we ask that you will fill us with your peace, surround us with your love, and guide us all in the right direction. It's in the name of Christ we pray. Amen.
And now please remain standing for our national anthem. Once again, Lava recording artist Frankie Perez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through all this fight over ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting air came through the night. That our flag was still there, that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the home of the brave,
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the most famous words in motorsports, here is Justin Lin.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine.
Great crowd here tonight, and they've got a beautiful night weather-wise and a great field of drivers and cars set to go 250 laps here at Richmond. Championship, well, 9 races left in the NASCAR Busch Series season. It just about can't get any closer than that. 5 drivers, 79 points is close. Any one of the first 5 could lead the championship when the checkered flag waves tonight. Brian Vickers moving up 2 spots after his win in Darlington. See what happens as we move on through the evening here in Richmond. How about a look at the starting lineup now for tonight's race? Kevin Harvick on pole. Qualifying rained out yesterday, so the field lined up according to the provisions in the NASCAR rulebook. So owner points for most of the front of the field. That's why Harvick gets the top spot, even though he's a Winston Cup driver. David Stremme in James Finch's number 1 this week. Rookie driver with his second go here at Richmond. He'll be one to keep an eye on tonight. Ashton Lewis, hometowner, Chesapeake, Virginia. Less than an hour's drive from here. Important race for him. Greg Biffle, driving the Evans Motorsports number 7 again this week.
Now, where does it start with it goes from the points?
Goes from the owner points.
Entry.
To the entries, to former champions, to... There's a whole list of things in the rule book.
Just tell them who's in the race.
That's what we're doing. Matt Kenseth going to come from way back in row 14. Saw him come by. Johnny Sauter, row 15. See Tony Raines doing double duty this weekend. Pretty good car in Winston Cup practice. He's from row 17 tonight. He finished 3rd here in the last race back in May. Former champion Steve Grissom in the field. And Casey Atwood going to start scratch in the field. A lot of cars here trying to qualify for this race. Most of them had to, all those guys had to go home without even a chance to run a time trial lap. And Shane Wallace making his Busch Series debut here at Richmond, going to drop to the rear of the field with an engine change on his car. Waiting for the field to roll off to begin their parade and pace laps. Scott Wimmer, one of the drivers who will be in the hunt for the victory later tonight. We thought they'd be gone already and on the pace laps, but it looks like we've got some time. So let's get a break in here before we have the green flag tonight at Richmond. We'll be right back. Richmond International Raceway all lit up and a great crowd on hand. They said they were well above the advance record for the NASCAR Busch Series and had plenty of people lined up at the gates to buy walk-up tickets. First time they could ever recall opening the backstretch grandstand up for a Busch Series race here at Richmond. So all those people right there, they weren't here before.
That's our
toy.
You
almost got it timed, but
almost.
Well, it kind of helps if you tell a director what you're going to do before you do it, you know.
Yeah, he'll definitely be more friendly to you next time.
Yeah. So the field out with their 3 parade and pace laps. They are 1 1/2 through them now. So let's get some stories from pit road before we go green. How about it, Matty? What do you got?
Scott Wimmer starts 10th in the 4 races since he won at Pikes Peak. His best finishes 12th, but he comes into Richmond loaded with confidence and optimism. The reason being 5 starts here, 4 top 10 finishes. I spoke to his crew chief, Chris Rice. He told me they're on the one-stop plan tonight. If this race car holds up, they've spent the entire weekend in race setup. A lot of confidence here in the 23 pit, Marty.
Matty, this is the point where I was going to tell you how great Matt Kenseth's car was, but now there's a problem. Transmission is loose, he says, a bad vibration in the shifter. They're going to come down pit road, put the car up on jack stands, tighten the transmission down, and you see the guys behind me getting ready to bring Matt Kenseth down pit road. He was going to start 28th. They felt like they had a top 3 car, but he'll start much further back now. Dave?
Marty, watch Dave Blaney tonight. He was the fastest car in pre-qualifying practice, which is good because the cars never saw any laps after that. Qualifying rained out, final practice rained out. Dave only had a slight adjustment to make to the car. In fact, his crew thought there was something wrong with him. They said usually he has so much more to say, but he said just a tick loose. They fixed that, and Dave just told me a moment ago, the car is good to go for the race. He starts 42nd, Alan.
Field will get the 1 to go signal when they come back to start-finish this time, and we'll see if Matt Kenseth comes down pit road on the pace laps. That's weird.
Yeah, well, why didn't he come down last lap?
And he's not coming in this lap.
He's scuffing tires like he's preparing to take the green here, so who knows what's going on.
Doesn't look like he's coming back. Well, maybe they've decided to live with it for a while. I'll bet you Marty will follow up as soon as he knows something more. What about it, Marty?
Well, let's see if we can talk to Cully, his crew chief, Cully Barreau, and let's get him here. Cully, what's wrong with the car? What's wrong with the car?
He's just feeling some movement in the shifter that's not usually there. We'll run along here and see what happens.
You are going to bring him down pit road? You will not now?
We were going to, but he's going to run along and just see. He's not used to feeling that movement. It's not something we usually have.
I got to imagine, Smoke, that wouldn't be fun to start the race with your gear shift going everywhere.
No, and it's actually probably not the transmission like he's talking about. Maybe in the shift linkage in the handle, which is just 2 bolts that hold it to the transmission itself. So as long as they're just loose and don't come out, he should be okay.
Set to go 250 laps on this 3/4 mile track tonight. 187.5 miles. And Kevin Harvick and Scott Riggs bringing the field down for the start of the Funai 250 at Richmond. We're underway. In the May race here, there were 14 cautions for 93 laps. I wanted to let him get through 1 lap to see if we made it through there.
I think we were all holding our breath for that fact.
Kevin Harvick leads, Scott Riggs second, David Green third. Ron Hornaday has fallen into 4th, and the first challenge is going to be for the runner-up spot. David Green looking on Scott Riggs.
Just not quite enough.
Right there is a great example of what we're going to see all night. Scott Riggs is up on the second lane, where Green is on the bottom, and we're going to have a lot of 2-wide racing all night because the bottom of the track has already started wearing out. We ran the truck race last night, and you'll see, if you really look close on the bottom, you'll see a lighter shade of black there. I guess it's actually starting to get gray, and that's where the sealer's actually wearing through to the asphalt. So as the night goes on, hopefully that groove will keep moving up and even make the track wider and possibly even see 3-wide racing at times.
And this is a racetrack that has a tendency, you can drive the car in real deep off the high line. The track lends itself for you to be able to do that, so it evens out about the middle towards the exit of the corner because the guy's going to be on the inside. He's got the shortest way around, but the guy can drive in way deep on the outside.
Exactly.
This is the race for 6th place. Brian Vickers in the 5, holding off Jason Keller in the 57, and they're double wide behind them. Shane Neal in the white 48, Scott Wimmer. Ideally, at a lot of racetracks, a track where the outside lane's a little faster than the inside lane or has a little more grip would really give you some great racing.
And that's what's great about Richmond. With the 2 ends and with it being a D-shaped oval, as you see him going to turn 3, right there is the tightest part of turns 3 and 4 is the entry right there. As they go through the corner there, the radius of the corner actually increases so they can actually turn the wheel to the right and gain speed, where turns 1, as they go in the corner here, now it's a decreasing radius. So as they turn into the corner, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Right there's the tightest part of the corner.
Wimmer and David Stremme there racing after Shane Neal got by Wimmer. There's Stremme in the 1. 26-year-old, South Bend, Indiana, 11th race of the season. 5 top 10s in his first 10 Busch Series starts for Stremme. How about Kenseth? That vibration bothering him much? Well, he's up to 19th spot. Started 28th.
Oh, Stremme got way high up in turn 2. going to lose a bunch of spots right there.
Yeah, let's see. He was 10th. He just lost 16th to Mike Wallace in the 4. And he's probably going to catch his heartbeat a little bit too.
Yeah, but the good thing, there's a lot of racing left. So whatever the mistake was or whatever happened down there, you can be sure he's probably not going to let that happen again for a while.
So Stremme now racing Ashton Lewis for 16th and 17th. Lost 6 spots on that exchange. See a decal on the hood of Ashton Lewis's car. Lewis, I mentioned a minute ago, is a native of Virginia, and his sponsor, the Civil Air Patrol, they're trying to help raise money for the Pentagon Memorial Fund. They're trying to build a memorial to the victims of the 9/11 plane crash there, both on the airplane and in the building. And they're trying to raise some awareness by running that decal on the hood of their car tonight here in Richmond. Talking about cars on the move here. Talked about Matt Kenseth moving up a lot of spots. How about Casey Atwood? Started last, up to 27th, trying to take 26th away from Chad Blunt in the 26. That's pretty good of a run.
Yeah, it looks real good. His car's working pretty good on the bottom and watching the last couple laps.
Came from deep in the field and finished 10th at Darlington last Saturday. So Casey's got it going here early at Richmond.
And I'm going to predict a car that works that good on the bottom this early in the race is a car that's probably going to be good all night. It's normally 15 to 20 laps into the run, the tires start giving up, and you'll see a lot of guys moving from that bottom lane to the top lane. And we're 13 laps in, and Casey's still going really good on the bottom, so it'll be interesting to see how long he can stay down there before the tires wear out.
12th and 13th here. Stacey Compton in the 59 just lost 11th spot to Greg Biffle. And now Mike Bliss and Casey Kane are on him. And we've gotten 14 laps, and we haven't had a caution flag tonight here in Richmond. Kevin Harvick is out in front. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Back at Richmond, caution is out. Joey Clanton has just crashed in turn 4 in the 27 car. And he has used up both ends of that one.
We knew it couldn't last too long.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't mean that in a bad way by any means.
Well, as always, told you when something happens and we're in commercial, we'll come back immediately and show it to you. And we are under caution because of a crash involving that car for the first time. It's out at lap 17.
And it's shorter than it was when it started.
Yes, it is.
You know what? For as hard as he hit it, it's not in bad shape.
Looks like he did it all by himself.
Oh.
That would be a Richmond rookie lesson.
Oh, we get to ride on board.
Looks like he just got in really hard.
He really got in hard.
That's the camera in the back bumper.
That's how you get your Trim Spa sponsorship a little extra time. Just
Perfect.
wedge it up to where the camera can see it a little easier.
Most of the leaders have stayed on track under the caution. Casey Kane has come in from 12th position. We'll continue our commercial break. We'll be right back. 2/3 of a lap from the restart. You guys wanted to show us something.
All right, here we go. Let's go, Tony. Let's tell it straight. Watch. Go ahead, you talk.
I don't know if we need that many numbers and arrows, but if you watch the back of the car here, we were talking about the soft wall earlier, and if you see how it backs up to the fence here, you'll just see the soft wall right there.
I was
you see it actually give.
You were touching it. That's what was happening.
So that's probably, like Alan was saying, that the car wasn't damaged as bad as we thought it would be, and that's because the soft wall did absorb a lot of the energy and hopefully protected the race car and the driver a lot better.
It's the best telestrator we've had all year.
That thing's cool. We're going to have a lot of fun with this tonight.
Back under green, Kevin Harvick is out in front. Lead lap cars that pitted under the caution. Casey Kane, Coy Gibbs, Chad Blunt, Joey Clanton to get the crash damage repaired, and Jason White and Randy McDonald. Most everybody stayed out. And Clanton is now 3 laps down, getting repairs made to his machine. And he's taking it to the garage. So, softer wall.
Or not.
Limited some of the damage, but
he drove it back, which we've seen a lot of cases where cars have backed into the wall like like that, and it's bent the back of the car down so much that the rear tires were off the ground. So it did probably help that race car quite a bit.
17 car moving up, Marty.
He's moving up, and he's already gone past that first problem. He's not even worried about the shifter. Now something is wrong with the brakes. He says every time he goes into the corner, hits the brakes, feels like they lock up, makes the car want to spin out. I cannot imagine, Wally. That'd be a lot of fun here, Richmond.
No, not any fun anywhere. I don't know. That sounds, I don't know if that's a brake bias deal or not, but.
Well, keep in mind, he is the Winston Cup point leader, and if anybody can drive through these problems, Matt Kenseth is the guy that can do it right now.
You notice how clean that car is?
It is clean.
You're not going to get it all dirty later in the year.
My car?
Yeah.
My car will be the cleanest car on the track.
I mean, that is the team who's going to field the car for you later in the year.
That is the team.
How did you convince those guys to let you drive their car, by the way?
You know, that's a good question. Actually, it wasn't me. Actually, Larry Mack helped me with that, and I don't know what Larry told them.
Now, we still can't announce who the sponsor is, right?
No. No, in Dover.
In Dover.
And Dover will be the announcement.
Okay. But it'll be a very clean car.
Yeah, it's a clean paint job.
Okay. Just checking. 8th and 9th place here. Shane Meal in the 48. Greg Biffle in the 7. Biffle moving up. Started 19th. Getting a report that NASCAR is keeping an eye on Jason Keller's car. Might be showing some smoke. So we'll keep an eye on it too. Scoring serial on Biffle. Steady march forward. Greg Biffle, a Craftsman Truck Series winner here on September 9th, 1999. It looks like Shane Meals kind of scuffed up the side of that 48 car just a minute ago. Check this out.
Oh, yeah.
That is definitely a scuff.
Either once or twice. I think good thing the wall was there. He would have spun out coming off the 2. He was pretty loose getting off the 2 there.
Up front, Scott Riggs starting to put some pressure on Kevin Harvick for the race lead. Look at that. Harvick won here back in May. He's got 3 top 5s in 5 Richmond Busch Series races, but he's getting a lot of pressure from the championship leader right now. And they're coming up on the back end of the field after this caution. They've caught the tail end of traffic pretty quickly.
I talked to Scott this morning or this afternoon, actually, and he was worried in practice. They could not get that car to turn, and they were really, really worried. They were glad they didn't qualify. They did find a little problem with front shocks, and they made that change. And he was like, "Man, I'm glad." He says, "Because we couldn't figure it out. Our car was so good here." And nothing, you know, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier. Everything they threw at it, they could not get that car to roll through the center. They found a shock problem.
Joey Clanton has gone to the garage. Marty?
Now let's see what happened. A lot of damage to the rear of this car. Joey, what happened? Trying to turn his radio off. What happened, Joey?
I mean, it's a shame for our Transport Pontiac team. I mean, the guys worked hard, had a rain short practice, but we had a fast race car, and just tried to get on the outside of a lap car, got in there on the outside. You know, it's just my fault, got up a little too high, and it got up in the slick stuff, and it's slick up there and turned it around back in the wall.
I asked him about hitting the soft wall. He said, felt like a wall to me, just like normal.
Yeah, I bet it did.
If you think about it, Marty, the last part of that word is wall,
Yeah.
soft wall. It's still going to be a wall, and it's still going to hurt.
Got a slow car on the back straightaway. That is the 39 car, it looks like, of Jamie Mosley.
I don't think he's going to make it around either.
He doesn't think so. We heard his radio there a second ago. And
nope.
And there's the call for the caution. Second yellow flag in the race, lap 35, as Jamie Mosley is stopped on the back straightaway with no power. Now, while we were talking to Joey Clanton, we saw second place change hands. Scott Riggs got all out of shape off of turn 2, and David Green squeezed by him.
And it'd be kind of interesting to see what happened there, why he did slide back like that.
So caution for the second time here at Richmond as Advil presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing on TNT. TNT Sports live in Richmond, Virginia, with the Funai 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series under caution for a second time. Pit stops, none of the top 10 came in. 23rd place, oh, wait a minute.
All right, grab your seats, folks.
All right, that explains it.
Not to get seasick.
Wondering why that camera was so shaky. BP, what are you doing? Oh. Take that microphone out of your pocket. Talk to us, man.
Hey, man, this is tough. You gave me the hardest camera in the whole place to try to run. It's impossible to try to keep up with these cars going right through there. Impossible. Dean?
Benny is on the camera on the inside of turn 3 at the end of the backstretch. There's the look. Dean Kaminsky normally runs that camera very expertly for us.
Does a nice job.
And these guys are under the caution flag. Imagine going by 3 times that fast. I'll try it.
All right, put the mic down and give it a good try here, BP.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's see how he handles the pan here. Microphone's in the pocket. Nope,
Pick a card, BP.
Push. He's pushing in.
Oh, boy.
All right, here we go. Nice pan, Benny. Nice pan. Come on.
Go with Hamilton.
Follow
Go with
that
Hamilton.
25 car. Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
Golf clap. Golf clap. Yeah, way to go, BP. All right, give me the Wendy's race menu. I'm going to get seasick if he runs that camera too much longer. Tomorrow, the race for the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship continues with 400 laps. The Chevy Rocket.
Boy, Benny has really wrecked our deal up here.
It's the Chevy Rock and Roll 400, and we start at 7 Eastern time with Discover Card Countdown to Green.
Very nice.
Thank you. Send in the relief pitcher.
Guess what, guys? The good thing is we've got the one to go signal, and we're going to get to watch some racing here again pretty soon.
Oh. Nothing changed in the top 10. Harvick, David Green, Riggs, Hornaday, Hamilton Jr., Keller, Vickers, Biffle, Neal, and Johnny Sauter in the 43 car. All the way up from 30th starting spot now to 10th.
Yeah, he came a long ways.
Yep, very nice. And the guys who pitted, most of the rest of the lead lap all went in. You got Scott Wimmer back in 23rd place, Matt Kenseth in 24th, Stacy Compton in 25th. That's where they're restarting.
Hornaday taking a look.
Oh, Riggs.
In the wall.
Did he get squeezed into it?
Yeah.
Championship leader's got big damage.
He may have a left front tire down, but
he's got the left front fender pushed in. The right side's all caved in.
He's got some trouble on the left front, that's for sure.
What's up, Dave?
Well, the reason he was back there in 4th anyway and racing with Hornaday, or back in 3rd, I should say, David Green got by him when he got a little bit high, got in the loose rubber and things that collect on the high side of the track. Scott radioed in and said, I just got up in the stuff, got it all over my tires, and that's why I lost the position, and it may have cost him having to race with Harvick.
Check it out. Here's what happened to Scott Riggs off turn 2.
You see Hornaday underneath him and actually slid, got loose, bounced into the 10 car, Scott Riggs, and unfortunately, Scott got the worst of it.
And with both of the front fenders pushed in like that, I can't imagine that car will not get tight here in the next 5 or 6 laps and be quite a handful for him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, this 43 car is flying. Johnny Sauter, he just took 8th spot from Shane Meal. He started 30th. We're only 44 laps into the race.
I'll tell you guys, we've been watching this kid for the whole, well, I guess for the last 2 years now when he was running in the ASA series, and he dominated in ASA. And he is a kid that is one of those hands-on type of guys that he likes to get in there, run his own program, works on his own cars, prepares his own cars for each event. So, I mean, this is a kid that we're going to see probably be in a Winston Cup car here in the next couple of years. And we haven't heard a lot from him, obviously, but he's a kid that definitely is one to keep an eye on here.
Trouble turn 2. It's Shane Wallace. He has been up into the wall with the right side of his car.
No yellow yet.
Scott Riggs is saying, please,
really.
give me a caution. Well, Shane gets to the pit road. We stay under green. Shane Wallace, a 19-year-old, originally from Utica, New York, been running the Hooters Cup Series on a limited basis this year. Ooh,
wow. That looks like something broke on that car.
The thing is, this, even though the track looks consistent all the way from the bottom to the top, with the way that the rubber's been down, and like we heard about Scott Riggs' car, if you get more than 2 lanes above the groove here, it's basically 2 lanes wide. And if you get above that, the little bit of marbles that are up there in the sealer the way it is, it has to have rubber on it for it to have grip.
Yeah.
So if you get above that, if your car's a little tight, you're probably going to slide up nose first into the wall like that. If you're a little bit loose, you're going to back it in the wall if you get up that high.
Watching Scott Riggs continue to slide backwards into the field. Tim Fiedel will go and by him here. That's going to be for 13th and 12th places.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Like Tony said, without those fenders like that car is going to be a handful. He won't be able to turn that car.
But I will say this, with as much damage as he does have on the front, and I can't imagine that he probably knocked the toe out a little bit, or hopefully he didn't get the rear end, but for as much damage as he has, he's actually doing a pretty good job with it.
Tell you, another guy flying, talking about Johnny Sauter, Dave Blaney in that 31 car, started 42nd. Before the caution flag came out there the first time, he was 21st. And that first caution came out at 18 laps into the race. Now he's moved up to 13th and trying to take, just took 12th away from Scott Riggs. Hear that Brian Vickers has just been issued a warning from race control, instructed to settle down. Apparently he just gave Johnny Sauter a little bit of a rough it up with the front bumper of his car. Matt, you got something for us?
Alan, after that first caution, 38 with Casey Kane restarted outside of the top 30. Radio communication between Casey and Wes Ward. He said the car is really, really tight. I think we should pit. Wes said no, stay out. And then they looked up. Next time by, Casey's coming down pit road. They made a significant track bar adjustment and put a rubber in the rear. He says the car is now cutting very, very well. He likes the way the car is running now, especially up off the corner.
So the driver vetoed the decision to stay out.
Yeah, boy.
All right.
When you want something changed, you make them change it.
Absolutely.
I can see Wally doing something like that. I wonder what would have happened if he stopped and they refused to come over the wall to change tires.
That's happened.
54 laps complete here at Richmond. Richmond International Raceway on a beautiful September night as Advil presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing on TNT. Record crowd on hand for a Busch Series race here, including some folks who skipped school to be here.
Yeah, we have some spelling problems, and the funny thing is, Dallenbach and I are sitting here going, Alan doesn't actually look bad up there. But we have to change this a little bit. We have to take another L and an E and an N, and we're going to cross out Benny's name, and we're going to change it to Smoke.
She's sitting there saying, how long are you going to make me hold this sign?
Yes. She's going,
Look at her face.
Now, you know what she's actually saying? She's actually saying right now, I hope my teacher doesn't see me with this sign.
Yeah, that's all right. She got a hall pass today. Kevin Harvick's the leader. David Green is second. Hamilton Jr. third. Ron Hornaday fourth. And Greg Biffle is fifth. This is for sixth place as Johnny Sauter in that 43 continues his march to the front.
I'm telling you, my boy's coming here in the 43 car.
Where's was it New Hampshire, July?
Yeah.
He was so impressive in that car.
And remember what we talked about earlier in the show as far as the cars moving up the racetrack. He is still on the bottom of the racetrack 65 laps into this run here, so his car is working really good. He's right down there on that yellow line.
So again, racing for sixth place here with Jason Keller. Keller, one of those 5 drivers in the fight for the Busch Series Championship. In fourth place, 70 points behind Scott Riggs when the green flag waved.
Uh-oh.
Who is that up the track? Mike Bliss.
Another one they got into gravel.
That's your Joe Gibbs teammate there, Smoke.
I told him not to get that high.
I'm sure it was probably beyond his control.
Yeah. Now he's got to take the process of if all it is just a problem with getting garbage on the tires.
Now, he thinks he's got a flat. Is that what he said?
Let's see. Take a look. See.
Right rear. Does that right rear look funny to you?
Side tires, no adjustment.
They're saying they're going to change right sides. It does look like it may be down.
Yep,
it is going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough break. This guy has had no luck this whole summer. Came so close to getting his first Busch Series win at St. Louis and ran out of gas, leading in the final lap. Now Mike Wallace and Stacy Compton racing for 16th and 17th. Compton, one of the guys that took tires on the last caution.
He needs more.
He will if he keeps doing that.
Try to come back up through the field. And they're all right behind Scott Riggs, who is still out there hoping for a caution. There's Tony Raines in the picture, 33. Casey Atwood in the 14. Looks like someone's gotten into the left rear of Wimmer's car a little bit. See a little fender damage there. Casey Atwood. Oh, there's a little smoke there.
Rubbing.
Good stuff. 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th positions. David Stremme getting in the middle of it. Side by side all the way around. One of the great things about this Richmond track. Love it. All right, Sauter's got the run on him now, and that'll be 6th place.
Yeah, that was just a matter of time.
And how about Scott Riggs? He's fallen back now to 13th place. Kind of settled in line there, Dave, and it looks like some of the smoke that was showing from that left front fender's eased up too.
He radioed into his crew, "I'm doing all I can, guys." Crew chief Doug Randolph got the whole team together behind the pit box. He drew a diagram of the car. He showed every man where he wanted them to be when Scott finally pitted, what damage he wanted them to fix. They have a plan, and if they can just get a caution, Scott believes he can drive the car and not fall down too far before they can come in and fix that.
He's running 10th. Excuse me, he's running 13th now. He's a half a lap behind the leader, Kevin Harvick, as Harvick comes up to complete lap 74 of 250. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. How about our Stacker 2 NASCAR Busch Series racetrack? Can they remodel this track into the present 3/4 mile layout in the middle of the '88 season? And Mark Martin's the only driver to win Richmond Busch Series races on both the old half-mile fairgrounds track and this 3/4 mile track. Kevin Harvick trying to make it back-to-back Richmond wins.
He better not look back.
They got somebody coming pretty quickly behind him, huh?
43 car.
David Green is second. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is third, but now Johnny Sauter has moved into 4th place. As you see, Kevin Harvick has led all of the laps so far tonight. There's David Green in second, Bobby Hamilton Jr. third.
And looking at the timing and scoring, Johnny Sauter is about 2.5 tenths quicker than the leader right now per lap.
He can do math.
I'm telling you, I was great at math. I didn't make the spelling bee, but I was good at math.
Fine. Who's fast at the line? There he is.
He didn't believe it.
Johnny Sauter.
Uh-oh.
Matt Kenseth. How about that? So Sauter by Hamilton Jr. for third. And now he's a little less than 2 seconds behind Kevin Harvick.
But let's compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Kenseth has come in for tires, though.
Yep. You are correct. So Sauter, keep an eye on his lap times and see if he's able to whittle away that deficit he has to leader Kevin Harvick here. Very impressive run. Onboard view with his brother, 56 car, Tim Sauter. Of course, tomorrow night during the Winston Cup race, we'll have a lot more onboard views for you. And you can order on the NASCAR in-car on in-demand package. Get in-car camera channels, virtual dashboards, real-time in-car data, and live team audio. 1-888 Sports In on digital cable. Right along with your favorite driver.
Well, Tony, you were talking about that higher groove. It looks like these guys are starting to run that second groove now a lot more than they were earlier.
Here comes Matt Kenseth moving around the Tim Sauter car. Kenseth running in 9th, Marty.
Yeah, Tony kind of made a good point. He's on fresher tires, but the car's been really good. The shifter problem's kind of gone away from Matt. Either that or he's ignoring it right now. They've been about 2 tenths faster than the leader. They restarted 24th on this run. They've already made their way close to the top 10, or in the top 10. Great run for these guys. The car was tied earlier. They took a pound out of both left side tires, and the cars really responded.
Matt Kenseth on his march back up through traffic after his pit stop. Let's mention that Chad Blunt's car has just been taken to the garage and retired with an engine failure. Stanton Barrett, we saw Jamie Mosley with his problems earlier in the garage. And for second place.
Now we'll see what Harvick's got now, because he can't just ride now.
No, especially not with all that traffic in front of him and a car coming from behind.
Johnny Sauter, 0.6 of a second behind Kevin Harvick. 90 laps complete of 250 here tonight at Richmond. We have a new leader at Richmond. As we come back live on TNT, Johnny Sauter in the 43 has completed his march through.
You know we're going to jump on you on that. You're having a hard
I know.
But you're
Easy for you to say.
Thank
Funai.
you.
Well, you were thinking Funai.
I actually was, yes, the name of the race. Let's show you how Johnny Sauter made the pass for the lead on Kevin Harvick. We have an excellent replay crew ready to bring you all this.
There it is. Actually, Kevin just pretty much pulled over. Go ahead, you're fast. I'll follow you for a while. That was a great replay.
It was.
Unbelievable.
Who got that for us? BP, is that you?
How'd you like that, guys?
Oh, it's perfect.
I just hit the thing that said play, and it's magic.
BP, what's that black knob there on your right? Twist that.
Oh, this does something about rolling the tape back and forth. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah.
BP.
I guess you got to stop it here someplace. Hey, Mark, where do you stop it?
BP.
Stop. There you go.
Put the machine back in Mark's very capable
Oh boy,
hands.
here we go.
Okay.
This is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
But,
What are we watching
Are you
here?
going to show us something here, BP, or are we just going to sit on that?
No. Oh,
Push play.
play. There you go. Okay.
There you go. Very nice.
One button Benny.
That's right. No, 2 buttons. Stop. Play.
Very
2 buttons. There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
slow motion even.
Look at this.
Very nice.
It's a nice
Okay,
shot of
back to
brake
the race.
rotor.
Back to the race.
Benny,
I'll take more. Huh?
the tape room is not your deal. Go find another job.
Okay.
All right, this is 8th place. Matt Kenseth continuing to push toward the front. Tell you what, some of these guys who have not pitted yet, like our leaders.
I'd like to know, hey, Marty. I know you got a report on the 5 car, but when are these guys going to come in and pit?
Well, I think they're going to try and wait till the next caution. I was going to ask Butch Hilton that very question in just a moment. Kevin Harvick is currently running in the now 4th position. He's fallen back. His car's a little bit too loose. But talking about the 5 car, Brian Vickers, they came here and tested Wally, ran a lot of laps. They actually wanted to run at night, but they got rained out 2 nights in a row, so they never got to run here at night. So my question is for you guys, do you really learn a lot by testing here during the day when you're racing at night?
I think the reality of it is whatever you have during the daytime, you know that your balance is going to be tighter at night. This track always seems to tighten up in the evening, so it seems like if your car is just a little bit on the free side, you end up being all right.
Whoa, caution. Car on the wall, Randy McDonald, turn 3.
Okay, well, Marty was right on his pit information.
Right on. I think I'll just wait till the yellow comes out.
Yeah,
And pit.
that's what I'll do. Be a long wait or a short wait?
I'm not going to pit under this caution. I'm going to wait till it goes back green, then I'm coming in.
I don't want you as my crew chief. Caution is out, lap 103. Randy McDonald finding the safer barrier in turn number 4. This isn't a BP replay, I don't think.
He may get a bump here. I can feel
help.
a bump getting on.
Yeah, kneeled.
Yes, he did.
And that's going to leave a mark. And watch this with Johnny Sauter. Scuff, just a scuff. And now the leader's on pit road. Dave?
Right as the caution was coming out, Johnny radioed in, I've got a flat. What a lucky break. He thought it was the right front, and they still are working on it now, guys. They're still up on the right. Now they come around to the left. A slow pit stop for the 43 guys. This is going to hurt them bad. Marty?
Loose under throttle for Bobby Hamilton Jr. running 4th. They make a wedge adjustment, also an air pressure adjustment. Just no front grip. Matty?
Crew Chief Jason Ratcliffe already going to work on that left front. David Green says the car, he's already down and away. He's going to beat everybody off the road. So the car was free on exit. They made a wedge adjustment and also adjusted that car with air pressure.
Check the pit exit camera. David Green with that first stall. or one of the first stalls. Yeah, he was in the very first stall, yeah.
Second.
Scott Riggs, by the way, got lapped by the leader before that caution came out. So the championship leader is now way behind here at Richmond. Advil presents NASCAR Racing from Richmond. Brought to you by Trim Spa. Available completely ephedra-free. Get your high-speed Dream Body Diet Pill today. Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. Advance Auto Parts. Third caution out here at Richmond International Raceway, just past the 100 lap mark. Johnny Sauter was leading at the caution, but he is now back in 16th after his pit stop.
Had some issues during the stop here. If you look at the official right here, waving his arms, and it seems to be a lug nut issue on the right front.
Now what's interesting is watch when they come back across, the guy picks one up, puts it on hand tight. The gun is there, but I don't think the gun ever hits the lug.
Get back around the other side of the car so he can leave. And off he goes. Now, I just said when we went to the commercial that Scott Riggs was a lap down. Well, watch as Johnny Sauter thinks he's got a flat tire. Watch all the cars charging by him, including Scott Riggs. That's coming back to the caution flag. So Riggs is now on the lead lap. Made a few pit stops to get repairs made under the yellow. Dave?
And Scott Riggs came back on pit road. They needed to replace the right front shock on the car. He's on off pit road. And by the way, I also checked in the crew with the 43. I checked with Joe Shear, the crew chief, and he says he's pretty confident the lug nuts on the right front are okay, but we'll have to see.
And looking at the 10 car there, they did a pretty good job, Wally, of getting the fenders pulled back out, which should give him the downforce. It's similar. It may not be exactly like it was when it started the race, but it should be good enough for him to get his balance back in the race car.
They did a real good job getting the fenders back. Plus, if he had a broken shock, that's going to help a lot, too.
Scott Riggs, 21st now, last car on the lead lap. David Green is out in front, third driver to lead tonight. Matt Kenseth off pit road second, Bobby Hamilton Jr. third, Kevin Harvick fourth, Jason Keller fifth. That's Mike Bliss trying to get a lap back. How about that 10 car, Dave?
Well, they didn't get that right front shock fixed, guys, so that is still a problem for Scott.
Okay.
Well, we didn't get the mechanical help we were looking for, but we will have the aerodynamic help that we're looking for now.
For the race lead, Matt Kenseth under David Green. Not yet.
And this is the hard part. Last night it was really tough in the truck race. If you had a faster truck, you could get down below these guys that were running the outside, but the grip isn't there like it is on the high side. So even though you may have a faster car, you may not be fast enough to get by.
And there's a spot right there that kills you if you're on the inside, because you can't let that car drift up. So you're pulling the steering wheel with scrubbing off the speed. And that guy in the outside line, he has more momentum, so pulls ahead just a little bit.
Exactly.
This is the kind of racing these fans pack this racetrack to see. Side by side, lap after lap.
This is why we need more 3/4 mile tracks, potential track owners in the future. We don't need any more 1.5-mile tri-ovals. This is better racing.
What about a mile version of this track if they stretch the straightaways just a little bit?
I'll be honest, I think these 3/4 mile tracks are good size. Like you're seeing here, we've seen these 3 cars that you can throw a blanket on for 4 or 5 laps now in a row, and they'll stay like this for probably 3 or 4 more.
I think the longer the tracks, the faster you get, the more aerodynamics it becomes on these race cars.
Exactly.
Here, it's a nice combination of aerodynamics and mechanical grip. You got to have the car set up, but you got to have a pretty good body on it too.
So what you're saying is if they get that track built in New York City somewhere, you hope they take these blueprints.
Exactly, or something similar to this. I mean, just think about all the acreage you would save by building a 3/4 mile track that you can pack the same amount of people around.
All more parking for the fans.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm all for it. I love this racing.
In New York City, it'll be valet parking and you'll arrive by taxi.
Yeah, that's okay. So David Green gives up the lead, gives up second to Bobby Hamilton Jr. Now here's Kevin Harvick working on him for third. Mike Bliss there in the 20 car is 2 laps down. 27th place. Remember the green flag pit stop he had when he had the right rear going down.
Inside with Jason Keller.
You know, and if you're Bliss, after watching Robbie Gordon make up 3 laps in the May Winston Cup race here to finish 4th, it's too early in the race to say, I don't want to be up here messing with the leaders. You got to stay in contact and try and get one of those laps back when the caution comes out.
Absolutely.
Kevin Harvick still working David Green for 3rd spot. And he slides through. Harvick led the opening 92 laps tonight. Brian Vickers, Ron Hornaday, 5 and 2, 5th and 6th place. Hornaday's car, a little different paint job here tonight. That's the Frankie Perez paint scheme for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 weekend. Perez, the gentleman who sang the national anthem earlier. Got a big hit CD out. And Dave Blaney, who started 42nd in this field, right behind him, and running 8th. Right behind him. Vickers just not able to get through Hornaday in front of Dave Blaney.
And if you're Blaney sitting there, you really don't know what to do because they're too wide. You don't know which guy is going to get by. Is the guy on the bottom going to get clear? Is the guy on the top going to go ahead and make the guy on the bottom wear his tires out trying to get by? So which lane do you pick and where do you go? The choice is going to get a little bit easier right now, though.
Yeah. So Vickers squeezes by Hornaday, picks up 6th place. Matt Kenseth is out in front, couple of laps away from halfway tonight. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. College football returning to TBS this fall, kicking off tomorrow night. The Arizona Wildcats host the 13th ranked LSU Tigers out in Tucson. 10 p.m. Eastern, Pac-10 and Big 12 college football this fall on TBS. She has no idea that she's cheering in such a bad spot.
Yeah, but she must be using really good hairspray because the wind's not blowing her hair around too bad. Oh, watch the post.
Just past halfway here in tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race at Richmond International Raceway. Remember that Joey Clanton was involved in a crash earlier at lap 18 that brought out the caution and sent him to the garage. He came back after repairs.
That was a different deal.
That's Tim Sauter.
He hit the wall too.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, now this is the 27.
Oh, not too good. Almost clear. Yeah.
Wow. Something broke or went down or something to cross that far up the racetrack.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's the right front fender, and it gets pushed down when you hit the wall like that.
So Clanton has gone back behind the wall for more repairs on his car, or perhaps to call it a night. Change of position, Shane Meal just slipping by Jason Keller for 6th place. Tell you what, Shane Meal's done a nice job this year. He was a little wild last year in his Busch Series rookie season, but he has really settled down and really matured a lot as a big league race driver this season.
Yeah, he really has. Just the most important thing is track time, and that's what he's getting. He's finishing races. He's getting a lot of experience, which is what he needs right now. But, he's one of those guys, probably, in my opinion, most improved driver for the year.
Brian Vickers by David Green for 4th place. David's car doesn't look like it's hugging the bottom like it was earlier.
No.
David is now running in 4th. Scott Riggs is running in 20th on the lead lap after his damage.
David looks like the car got tight all of a sudden.
We'll get 115 laps to go. We're going to take a break here and then come back and go through the field. Get you updated on where everybody's race stands to this point. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Okay, I asked earlier, was it a full moon? Answer's no.
It's full on the right side.
Which would probably explain why there have been 3 cautions to this point instead of 13. What was that?
Don't say that, though. Knock on wood here. We have a good race tonight.
Just past halfway here at Richmond, Matt Kenseth is the race leader. 108 laps to go. Time to go through the field. We set one of these up and the caution flag didn't come out. How about that? start with the leaders pit. Marty?
Guess what they're talking about down there, Alan?
Not fuel mileage. No.
That's exactly right. The 17 car is about 20 laps short of making it all the way on fuel mileage, but there's a lot of cars thinking they can make it all the way. They get looser the longer they run, so they started this car a little bit tight at the beginning of this run. Behind him, Bobby Hamilton Jr., he too starts tight. He too gets looser the longer they run. This team is going Winston Cup racing in a few weeks at the Kansas Speedway. Right behind him, Kevin Harvick on the racetrack. Not as good as they were last run, but they are very good at the beginning of a run. Car gets too loose at the end of the run, but he led the first 92 laps of the race tonight. One of the cars that thinks they might be able to make it all the way, Brian Vickers, last week's winner at Darlington. They said if they get some caution laps and he saves some fuel, they might just go all the way. Matty?
And the 37 of David Green, their plan was to stop at lap 120 and go to the finish, but that caution ruined their strategy. Now 15 laps shy. The car was loose early. Now it is extremely tight, but starting to get better, Marty.
Shane Mill brushed the ball earlier, Alan, or Matty, but the car is just a little bit tight right now. They've done a pretty good job of hanging on to it this afternoon, and they are at the same car that led the most laps at IRP and finished fourth that day. Dave?
Marty, the 43 car of Johnny Sauter was reporting that he had a brake problem, was reporting that he had an intermittent miss problem in the motor, but he switched ignition boxes, and I guess the brakes are okay because he's going by people. He just got around Jason Keller. Keller, for his part, the car is tight through the center of the corner, and he actually hit the wall on lap 131, but reported to the crew that the car is okay. Matt?
And Ron Hunterday, another guy looking to go after that championship. Right now, running in the 9th position. He's faded a little bit. The car was great earlier. Loved the way it was cutting in the center of the corner. Now the car has gone to the free side. Ricky Byers looking at making an air pressure adjustment the next stop. Dave?
Matt, Dave Blaney's car was tight, so they made a track bar adjustment, put on 4 tires, but now it's really tightening up in the center of the corner. Not enough. Alan?
There are your top 10, 21 cars on the lead lap with 101 laps to go. Matt Kenseth out in front of Bobby Hamilton Jr. by now 1.34 seconds. We continue to go through the field. 11th place Tim Fidoa, Matt.
Having an awesome run tonight, Tim Fidoa. He's been flirting with that top 10 all night. Back on lap 105, they made a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment to help the race car. It was on the tight side. Now it's even tighter. They're talking about what to do on this next stop. Meanwhile, Casey Kane, Smoke's little protege from the USAC Midgets, running very well, making its way back up through. They're talking about what to do to that race car on their next stop. The car is still a little bit on the tight side, Dave.
Same for Tony Raines, Matt. He stopped twice. He stopped on lap 37. They made a track bar and wedge adjustment. He stopped on lap 104. They made just the wedge adjustment. The car is still a little bit tight for Tony. Marty?
And David Strimley's trying to track down Tony Raines. You see him go across the front stretch there. Car's tight in the center, loose off. That's the problem we talked about in happy hour. Started 7th, as you see, currently 14th. Dave?
Casey Atwood making a pass on the track of Casey Mears. A bit of a tight condition to start off with. Put it on lap 37, made an air pressure adjustment. Still tight on lap 104. Made another air pressure adjustment. He hopes it's gotten fixed now. The 19th car of Casey Mears, tight from the center off the corner. How many times have we said tight tonight? Another tight race car. They took a rubber out of the left rear in Casey Mears' car to try to fix that condition. Matty?
Stacy Compton runs 17th. Back on lap 37, went up on the track bar to try to fix that tight race car. Restarted 25th, worked his way up through the field, but it's still tight on entry and tight on the center, Dave.
Scott Riggs running with a broken right front shock, running lap times that are pretty good to keep him in line here. It's just a track position issue now for Scott. They're very happy with the car, considering the condition it was in. Marty?
Dave, I've got one more tight race car for you. Mike Wallace back there trying to get around Scott Riggs. Been fighting a tight condition all night long. This team finished 12th here in May. Currently Mike is in the 19th position. Matt?
And the 7, he was very happy with that race car. From the back of the race car, just needed to work on the front grip a little bit, but Greg Biffle now says the car has picked up a miss in the motor. Water temperatures climbed up over 230. He repitted after that last caution to try to work on the throttle, which was starting to hang. Alan?
So Biffle off the pace and being overtaken by the race leaders and put 1 lap down with engine problems. Those are the now 19 lead lap cars. The red car just behind Matt Kenseth there. Steve Grissom just put a lap down. And so 19 left on the same lap. And I'll tell you what, Johnny Sauter's marching again. We'll talk about him when we come back to Richmond. Kenseth leads, 94 laps to go. Advil presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing, Richmond, Virginia. Tonight's 250 lapper, 87 circuits from conclusion. Matt Kenseth is well out in front. More details, more information, more for you to follow online for the NASCAR action from the racetrack this weekend with NASCAR.com's Track Pass, free 14-day trial. BP really likes that word free. You that way there, Smoke?
That's my favorite word.
Okay, check it out, NASCAR.com. Johnny Sauter is charging back up. Restarted 16th at lap 111. He's now 6th at lap 165 and working on David Green in that 37 car for 5th. How about 43, Dave?
Well, he radioed into his crew that the car was pushing just a little bit. They also said, guys, and he said it real nice, I really don't care to hear my lap times. Then just about a lap later, they radioed to him, leader running 22.60, you a 22.20, and he didn't shout him down. So I guess the encouragement was okay with Johnny.
I think it's safe to say, though, he has passed more cars tonight than any other driver in the racetrack.
He's traveled more than anyone. Well, I mean, when you're running that good, you don't really need to hear your lap times because you're passing everybody.
Well, and the reason you don't need the lap time is because you're really not trying to run a specific lap time. You're busy in traffic anyway, so you're doing what you have to do to get by the traffic.
How do you like, I mean, when I drive, I don't like to hear anything. Some guys talk all the time. Do you like people talking to you a lot, or?
I like when I get by myself. You know, if you just pass somebody and you're a couple seconds behind the next car, I like for Zippy to give me my lap time so I know if there's a spot on the racetrack and my times have fallen off a couple tenths, maybe I can move around and have the flexibility to try a different line and see how it compares to the lap before to see if you can pick up time or a spot that loses time. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of compare what you're doing there.
Sauter's biggest problem right now is finding some free racetrack to try and make this move around David Green. Now, if you're Johnny Sauter, and you clearly have one of the best cars on the racetrack tonight, if not the best, and you end up finishing 4th or 3rd, are you happy because you had such a great car and everybody knew you were there, or are you really, really mad because you had a car that could win the race and it didn't happen?
If I'm Johnny Sauter and I'm as competitive as I know that he is, I'll be frustrated tonight, tomorrow, for the next 3 days because you know that you had the fastest car, and knowing that you have the fastest car and didn't win, somebody has to answer to that.
Definitely. It's what if. I mean, you know you got the car to win, but even, second place is not going to be good enough because you know you had the car to win.
He's hung up behind David Green right now. When they're in traffic, he closes in on him, but when they get out, well, here he goes. David got a little wide there. Johnny Sauter's going to go by David Green and pick up 5th. How about that 37 car, Matty?
Even though he gave up that spot to Johnny Sauter, David Green says the car is starting to come to him. Remember, we told you he was tight when we were doing the through the field, but this team is throwing everything at winning that championship. They entered tonight 19 points out of 1st. They've got a brand new drop snout chassis. Also changed engine programs, at least for tonight. They've got a DEI engine versus their Bill Davis engine program, which they won twice this year with, but they feel like the 5-car Brian Vickers is coming in that championship chase. They have to try everything. They can't play it conservative if they're going to win the championship this year.
So David Green running 6th now.
Whoa,
Scott
Johnny. Uh-oh. Did you get a flat tire? Or now he just got up on the...
He's checking it, wiggling that wheel back and forth, trying to get the junk off him.
Oh, that thing was... Boy, when you get that stuff on your tires...
I didn't make out what he said there.
I didn't hear what he said either.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give him another lap and then check his lap times, but I'm pretty sure it looks like it's all right.
So Sauter giving the 5th place that he worked so hard to get back up to David Green, but not losing anything more. Jason Keller in 7th, right behind him. But what that lost time might have cost him was any chance to catch Matt Kenseth. Because now he's 8.7 seconds behind him. Well, then again, everybody's got to make another pit stop, right? We're not hearing anybody saying they can go to the finish if we don't see another yellow.
That's great. I'm tired of hearing about fuel mileage.
Yeah, I know you are.
Fastest car.
Okay, so
his tires are...
Everything's fine.
Good.
Johnny Sauter splitting his time between this ride for Kerry Agajanian and the 21 car for Richard Childress that Kevin Harvick is driving tonight. I imagine that's got to be a little bit different because each team has its different style. Each team, you know, the crew chiefs have their own way. The cars might be constructed a little different. That must be a little bit unusual for a driver to shuttle back and forth between rides like that, would you say?
To a certain degree, but I mean, by the time drivers have got to this level, they're used to driving for multiple car owners and sometimes even more than 2 car owners in the same year. So it's probably not the ideal situation. You'd love to be driving for the same team in all the races, but having 2 great teams to drive for like that, you know, you can get by pretty easy, I think.
Heard David Green, the report from his pit by Matty there, that the track was coming to him. He's caught Brian Vickers to race him for 4th. How about the caution? Turn 2. Got a car up there scraping along the wall. It was Casey Mears. Yep. Knocked in the right front corner. On the target.
Oh, hang on, Casey.
He's still...
Something broke on the thing.
I'd say that
looks like it's towed out a little bit.
The tire's pointing northwest, and it's...
I turned going in and jumped sideways off me.
So caution number 4 is out of this race.
Your steering all messed up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all messed up. I hit the wall pretty good. Take it to the garage.
And the fuel mileage is now out of the question.
I don't know. It felt like something went bad because all of a sudden, as soon as I start to cut the wheel, it just jumped sideways going in.
So they'll all come to pit road here. They'll all take tires, all the lead lap cars, all 16 of them. And what about Scott Riggs? He was about to get lapped by Matt Kenseth, and the caution came out. And they get another chance to come back around and make up 3/4 of a mile and put some fresh tires on it. Dave?
All they told him was 4 tires and 1 can of gas if they made any change to fix the pushing condition. It's a slight air pressure change. Marty?
Matt Kenseth came on the radio today, said, I know how to win this race. Just give me 4 tires faster than everyone else. It'll be 4 tires, no chassis adjustments for Matt Kenseth. Matt?
And David Green slides to a stop. You can see the wedge wrench go in the back window. They're going to adjust that car. He said it was snug in the center. Not that bad off, though. If he can just fix that snug in the center, the 17 is going to beat the 37 off. The 21 is going to be a little bit of trouble on that left front for Jason Ratcliffe. A number of cars is going to beat the 37 off pit road.
That's going to be close there for 3rd pit exit. We'll check it when we come back. Actually, we'll check it right now. How's that?
Ooh, look at this.
This is for 3rd place. You want to call that one? I'll give that to Vickers.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Then Green, and then Hamilton Jr.
Well done, boys.
Matt Kenseth hangs on to the lead. We're under caution at Richmond. Coming to the green flag here at Richmond International Raceway. 66 laps to go as we get the restart. Fresh tires on everybody's car. And Matt Kenseth out in front. Kevin Harvick 2nd. Brian Vickers 3rd. David Green 4th. Bobby Hamilton Jr. 5th. Harvick clears the lap traffic. Goes after the race lead. But David Green had all kinds of trouble there in turn 2. Got away with it. Mess waiting to happen back there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Harvick has got to be tantalized by Kenseth just leaving that bottom lane open for him.
It's definitely teasing him because he wants it, but it may not be the fastest way around right now.
How about 21 car, Marty?
One thing to keep in mind here, Alan, Kevin Harvick's been better on the short runs all night long. Matt Kenseth better on the long runs.
So neither one of them is exactly where they want to be, except for Kenseth. He wants to be up front because he knows if he can stay there for the first half of the run, he's going to be better later.
Johnny Sauter around Bobby Hamilton Jr. for 5th.
I tell you, Sauter's in a good position right now. He can see the leaders. He's got the fastest car on the racetrack.
And he didn't have much lap traffic to deal with either for a while, and he can try and get up there and see if he can do anything with Kenseth.
Dave, what do you got on the 43?
Well, how about a recovery for that crew? You know, after that horrible first pit stop, they come in 6th, they go out 6th, they didn't miss a beat.
Real good. And that's when they needed it, too, this last pit stop. Because that's it.
So Sauter finds himself again racing with David Green for 4th place.
His quest to pass 100 cars continues.
Yeah. Man, that car is just
working on the bottom.
Stacy Compton, 59 car, first winter lap down in 17th place.
Not only does it cut, it's getting off the corner good.
Yeah, it's doing everything he's asking it to do right now. And it looks like David Green's car is still not cutting in the center like he wants it to.
Still tight. Johnny Sauter running faster last lap than leader Matt Kenseth. The lap car of Compton to deal with, and then the next one he'll have to go after will be Brian Vickers in third. Compton gives way.
I don't think he gave way. I think Sauter just took it away.
Yeah.
Hamilton Jr., David Green, 5th and 6th place. Jason Keller right behind them in 7th, all racing for a spot. And look at this. Scott Riggs came down pit road 16th, came out 8th. If they end up winning the Busch Series championship at Homestead in November, this is going to be a night they can look back on and pat themselves on the back and say, we could have thrown it all away there, and we didn't.
Exactly right.
Dave?
Alan, I couldn't hear if you mentioned it. They did take on only 2 tires, 2 right side tires for the 10, and that's how they got all the time on the track. Remember, we talked about the fact that all he needed now was track position.
Well, he got it.
Yeah, we'll see. See if 2 tires be able to keep him there.
End result is the same. I don't care how they get. The bottom line is if they end up in the top 10 tonight after what they've been through, that's an attaboy night. David Green, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Jason Keller, 5th, 6th, and 7th up front. Got some pressure on the lead. As David Green works the lap car, here's Kevin Harvick working Matt Kenseth. Kevin Harvick, winner of the NASCAR Busch Series race here in May. Matt Kenseth, winner of the NASCAR Winston Cup race here last September. 2 of the top 3 in the NASCAR Winston Cup championship standings. Out here getting a little extra exercise on a Friday night. Marty?
I think it's go time, Alan. They come on the radio, both of the team spotters, and said these are the fastest laps you've turned all night long, both to Matt Kenseth and Kevin Harvick. So they're having fun, but they're certainly going after it right now.
Listen to the stats on these guys this season in their Busch Series competition. Matt Kenseth has run 10 races this season. 6 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Kevin Harvick has run 11 races. His worst finish is 10th. He's led all but 1 of those 11 races. He's led the most laps in 6, and he's got 3 wins.
Pretty impressive.
Not too shabby. Tony, you have an opinion on the Cup drivers in the Busch Series race issue that's been debated for so many years?
From my standpoint as a driver, when I came into the Busch Grand National Series in '96 and when I joined Joe Gibbs Racing in '97, I enjoyed running with the Winston Cup guys because I learned so much by following Jeff Burton, Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte, some of the other Cup drivers that ran the Busch Series. When you got around those guys, you knew they had excellent car control, and every lap that you followed them, you learned something that you didn't learn running around the Busch Cup regular, Busch Series regular. So I always welcomed them, and I always felt like if I could run with those guys and if I could get by one of them, I was having an excellent day, and gave me the confidence that the more that I ran with them and the more I ran around them and to finish close to them, I was getting more prepared for Winston Cup. So I always thought it was a good thing to have some Winston Cup guys in the mix.
Now let me turn the issue the other way. You're a Winston Cup guy who is not running in the Busch Series. These guys get any advantage over you for tomorrow night by the track time they're getting tonight?
It didn't hurt me last night running the truck here, so I mean, it can be an advantage, but you know, at the same time, they're out here 250 laps tonight in the heat, so you know, it can wear on their bodies too. But you know, all these guys are so physically fit and conditioned for this that it probably is not going to hurt them, considering it's a night race tomorrow night. They get the whole night tonight and all day tomorrow to relax. But you know, they'll learn some things, but every car that they get into is going to be a little bit different, so it's not all going to translate.
Saw Johnny Sauter get around Brian Vickers for third, a second and a half behind Matt Kenseth. 48 laps to go. Can he catch him? We'll find out when we come back to Richmond. Richmond, we're under caution. The championship leader, Scott Riggs, is involved again. He had lost a number of spots over the last lap, and a lot of sparks were showing from under the right front corner of his car. He was trying to get to pit road, but he wasn't clear of traffic.
Yeah, something's definitely
We thought the right front was down, but it looks like it's actually up and, well, it is going down now.
Remember, we got the report from pit road that they had a shock that was broken.
Well, they got all kinds of broken stuff now.
Yeah, look at that. All right, let's go back and reconstruct this for you here. Here's Riggs. He's losing all those spots to those cars on the inside. Watch the sparks when he goes into one.
Yeah, that's something breaking, I would think. I mean,
it could be the tire going down and just not seeing it flat yet, but his crew has already called him on the radio, called for 2 right side tires, and he's trying to get down the pit lane, but he's got all these cars coming.
And Mike Bliss.
Poor Mike Bliss, nowhere to go.
Ends up on top of him. That was Jay Sauter that caught a piece of Bliss going by and spun off turn 4.
Not clear.
Ooh.
Both of those guys have had a rough night tonight.
He got a good look at the underside of that 20 car. Riggs did. Look at that. He's right on top of him.
Yeah.
And Bliss is probably sitting there saying, what in the world?
Yeah, what next?
He just had nowhere to go.
Man. So Riggs has been on pit road and back off, and will continue to follow the plight of the championship leader with 42 laps to go. Advil presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Richmond International Raceway, and the situation continues to get worse for the championship leader, Scott Riggs. Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, Tony Stewart down the far end with NASCAR Busch Series Racing tonight. Tony will be out in his Home Depot Chevy tomorrow night trying to win the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. Need to find a couple adjustments on that thing for tomorrow night.
Zippy's down there working on it right now, so I'm up here playing with you guys, and Zippy's working, so he always takes care of us.
Hope you're having a good time playing.
I'm having a blast.
Okay, that's good. Scott Riggs.
Scott Riggs. What else can go wrong?
I'll tell you in a minute. He's about to get a lap penalty. He went speeding down pit road just after the caution came out to try and keep from losing a lap. He went through at about 90 miles an hour. So NASCAR told him, if you speed again, we're going to penalize you for a lap. So last lap, he was in getting repairs. They dropped the car. He blasted out of pit road to try and keep from losing a lap, and NASCAR called him in, and they're going to hold him for a lap.
And they're changing that shock right now.
All right, BP, where are you now?
Well, I'm down in the graphics department, guys, working with Patrick and DT, putting those graphics up on the screen, and
we seem to have a problem here.
Too many ends?
Too many ends.
Yeah.
1972 champion?
It was 73 and no S on the end.
Okay. Just hit read.
Let's see, where's Reed? Oh, right there.
Quick, BP, we're going.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
It's amazing. You guys are great.
Very, very nice. And Benny misspelled his own name.
Now that's the second time the 43 cars lit up the rear tires on the restart. Yep, he did it that time too. Last time, both times he restarted. Got a lot of wheel spin.
We had trouble with that in the truck last night. Every restart, it was hard to go from second gear and not spin the tires once you hit the accelerator on the restart.
Sauter trying to deal with the lap car of Stacy Compton pretty quickly and stay in contact with the top two. You see he slides by him there. Brian Vickers trying to follow him through. Stacy Compton, 59, 16th place. What's that? That's Riggs again. Whatever they tried to do to fix that thing, it didn't work. Okay, so remember what I said about everything they've done to stay, not make this a real bad championship night?
Tire on it. Let's see what's dragging, what's hitting them.
It's
that
happening.
would be the bottom of the race car.
That'd be the metal on the bottom of the race car.
It is unraveling quickly.
Normally we would say, just keep going. Eventually it'll grind off what it doesn't want. But that might be a little worse problem than that. That's quite a bit of sparks.
Hamilton Jr. and Brian Vickers for 4th and 5th place. Hamilton Jr. through. Trying to catch up to the top three. All right, 33 laps to go. Johnny Sauter. Can he catch and get around Harvick for second and Kenseth for the lead?
I can promise you, he's gonna catch him. Now, getting by both of those two is gonna be the tough part.
This is Jason Keller, 7th place, racing David Green for 6th.
And you know, both of those guys are sitting there knowing what problems Scott Riggs is having tonight, and knowing how important the championship is right now. They're going to race each other hard, but they're not going to take any unnecessary chances. They're going to cost them a chance to catch up on points tonight.
How about 37 car, Matty?
Alan, that's exactly what David Green and his team are thinking about points. He says the car is a little tight, but it also has a loose field. They just want to knock down a top 5 and leave here, knowing the bad night that Scott Riggs has had. You've got to make up ground when you can. You've got to take advantage. When your opponent's having a bad night, you've got to have a good one, and that's what they're having so far.
Well, 43 just blew by second place.
10 car's going to get black flagged again. He was just on pit road. Whatever they did didn't fix it. And so the championship story continues for Scott Riggs as that plays out. But the real question now, can Matt Kenseth hold off Johnny Sauter for the race lead? Johnny Sauter marched from his starting spot of 30th place to 11th. And then into the top 5 by lap 76, took the lead at lap 93, lost all kind of ground on a pit stop, went back to 16th, and now is trying to work his way back to the point. Marty?
They told Matt Kenseth about Johnny Sauter and how fast he was catching him. Matt came on the radio and said, I want to know what line he's running. They said he's running right in the middle of the turns, so he's going to try to block him. But can you really block someone here at Richmond, Dave?
Well, Marty, we'll have to see. I love listening to Johnny Sauter on the radio. He's real testy. He's real feisty. He started out in third. He said, I can't race this thing, blah, blah, blah. He passes for second, and now he's going to go for the lead.
That sounds just like us, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Sings a piece of junk, blah, blah, blah.
Faster than the leader.
Oh, you guys did good fixing this car. Yeah, exactly. Faster than the leader.
If it's that bad, imagine how fast it'll be when he's actually happy with it.
Yeah. For the top spot, Johnny Sauter stalking Matt Kenseth, looking for a slip, looking for a wiggle, looking to just get a run up off a corner and put the fender underneath him. 26 laps left to get it done. Is this the opening right here? Nope. Couple slower cars ahead. Sorry.
I can promise you, Matt is watching in his mirror, watching to see where he is, and I can guarantee if he looks up in the middle of the corner and he doesn't see him, he's going to know he's down on that bottom side, and it's going to start playing on his mind.
By the Mike Bliss lap car.
Regardless of the outcome of this race tonight, Sauter has to be proud of his performance. I mean, he has had an excellent, excellent night.
He's obviously a little faster than Matt here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But
it just can't get wide.
About 17, Marty.
Well, under the last caution, Matt Kenseth came on the radio and said, this set of tires is not as good as the last one. It's making me too loose in. I can't get on the throttle, and I'll crash on the racetrack.
Casey Kane has just scrubbed the wall in turn 2, no caution. And Johnny Sauter continuing to work Matt Kenseth over for the race lead. Casey Kane was running in 10th when he got up there and scuffed the wall. It's going to cost him 5 spots. He's back to 15.
There we go. There it is.
Use him up there a little bit.
That was a nice move. Very nice.
Johnny Sauter out in front.
And that's what you're going to see tomorrow night, too. That's the way the guys that are going to have to pass in the bottom, that's where you have to finish it off a lot of times. If you stay down, that advantage you get getting in the corner, you will lose coming off. So you have to kind of run up the racetrack and use up the track a little bit.
Final commercial break before the checkered flag, barring caution flags. 22 laps to go. Johnny Sauter in search of his second win. Advil presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Richmond International Raceway. Johnny Sauter is out in front with 15 laps to go. Working through some lap traffic. 0.7 of a second his advantage over Matt Kenseth, with Kevin Harvick running third. When the NASCAR Busch Series is run in conjunction with the Winston Cup Series this season, 17 races, only 3 of them have been won by Busch Series regulars. Bobby Hamilton Jr. at Chicago, David Green at New Hampshire, Brian Vickers last week at Darlington, Johnny Sauter bidding to add his name to that list. Best come from behind win. Bobby Hamilton and Harry Gant started 29th. September's 89 and 91, Johnny Sauter started 30th. That would be Patrick and the boys down in graphics. The BP was interrupting earlier.
The BP is no longer in the graphic.
It was spelled correctly, so.
So we know he's in there.
He's out of there.
He's moved on to another job here. We may see it before the end of the night, not sure.
About the only thing he hasn't done is drive the production truck.
Caution. Greg Biffle. His engine's finally given up. Remember, we heard a long time ago that the water temperature was going up, and it has given up with 12 laps to go. Don't you know that's the last thing Johnny Sauter wanted to see?
Well, you can look at it two ways. No lap traffic, 17 laps, hopefully a clear track.
Yep, that's could be a good thing.
So caution's out. Let's take advantage, get a break in here. We'll come back and set up the final dash to the finish tonight here in Richmond. We're back at Richmond. Wally and Tony are amusing themselves.
Hold on here.
I'm going to need the Advil here in a couple minutes.
I think mine was better. I was more creative here.
Okay.
I used more of the options.
It's
Let's
almost
see if we
Halloween.
can figure out who this actually is here, though.
Okay.
It's all going to depend on your finishing touch. Ooh, spiked hair.
Yeah.
Survey says
that'll be Marty.
Marty Snyder.
Oh, very good. Let's fade back to racing, please. Dave, help me.
Yeah, before I get drawn on too with Joe Shear. Joe, according to your driver, that is an evil, wicked race car. How can it possibly win this race?
I don't know. He's been complaining about it all day, but this is our favorite car, and he loves this thing, and I know better than that. But I want to thank Channel Lock and all the people that help us out here. But this car is our favorite car, and it's just outstanding.
All right, Marty.
Well, let's see if Matt Kenseth thinks they can get by him. Cully, can you guys get by Johnny Sauter here?
It'll be on the restart or not at all.
There you go, on the restart or not at all. Matt said that he noticed last time that Sauter spun his tires, but he said, so did I. So I don't think anyone's got an advantage here.
This is going to be fun to watch because, like I said, that 43 car's had a hard time on these restarts. And I think the 17 car knows it.
And the restart comes with 7 laps to go. Johnny Sauter trying to hold off the Winston Cuppers, Matt Kenseth and Kevin Harvick for the win.
He spun him again.
Yeah, sure did. Got away with it.
Got a little oil dry on the track. Look at Kenseth, jump to the outside. Side by side for the lead.
That's great. That's good stuff.
Here comes Kevin Harvick, 3 wide for the race lead.
This won't work.
Sure it will. 3 really talented drivers right there.
You got it. You're the man.
Shane Meal.
Make that 4 talented.
Oh, he gets Jason Keller hard into the wall. Caution is out.
Boy, there's a lot of debris down there, too.
Oh, easy. Jason Keller, one of the contenders for the NASCAR Busch Series Championship, crashed heavily.
There's trash everywhere up here, but they don't stop it.
With 5 laps to go. The pace car is out in front of the field and stopping them on the back straightaway. If they had come around one more time, they'd have been beyond the point where NASCAR would have put the red flag out to stop the race.
Well, I know everybody on TV can't hear the crowd, but we can hear the crowd, and they're applauding pretty heavily. And now that they threw the red flag, they want to see this thing go green to the finish.
All right, let's take a look at what happened. Shane Meal had gotten knocked out of line or shuffled off at turn 2. Shoots down to the inside of the backstretch.
Yeah, he just slides up the racetrack and gets right into Jason Keller.
Where he was at on the racetrack, he was so low that it was just bad position to try to go into the corner that hard. He's just trying to salvage his position on the racetrack.
Top of the screen. Watch how hard Keller hits. Remember, that's the new safer barrier, though, here at Richmond. The softer wall Those big styrofoam blocks in behind the steel designed to try and absorb some of the impact. And that was a driver's side hit for Keller. Now this is off turn 2.
Clips Vicker there in the left rear a little bit.
Yeah, he just did not have the right angle to be going in there like that at all.
And that's tough for Keller, 4th in the championship. Close to the end of the race, close to getting the top 10 finish. And now he's not going to finish. And we continue to watch the work done around his car.
We're in the crash. 48 just wrecked us, Smoke. 48 just wrecked us. See if it'll keep rolling, buddy. If it'll keep rolling, keep digging.
Shot.
Well, the good thing was see him moving right away there.
Yeah. And Jason has just gotten out of the car and walked over to the ambulance for the trip to the care center, which is good news. Now, how about that excitement between the leaders? Matt Kenseth jumped up to Johnny Sauter's outside in turn 2.
And that was cool right there.
Look at this slide. What a great job both guys did. And here comes Harvick, 3 wide.
Now imagine being Sauter in the middle of 2 Winston Cup guys with less than 10 to go. And look at this. Doesn't waver an inch.
That was terrific. Now this was after they took the caution flag down into turn 1. Matt Kenseth saying,
he didn't appreciate that off of 4. Marty?
Yeah, Wally, Matt came on the radio and was not very happy with what Johnny Sauter did back there, and he said, he almost put him in the fence, and he was also kind of mad at Kevin Harvick. He said, what's he doing up there racing with us? Obviously, he was going for the lead, but he was kind of surprised to see the 21 there and had his spotter, Mike Kalanoff, go talk to the 21 spotter. So they were a little surprised as to what happened going to that caution flag there.
Well, wait a minute. He was upset with the 21 racing him when?
it was probably just emotion. You never said anything on the radio that you thought...
Yeah, well, but I'm not going to be mad at a guy that's going for the lead. I mean...
Hey, that's just racing.
How about today's Just for Men hair color rejuvenating moment? We rejuvenated the excitement level of this one with this off of turn 4. Johnny Sauter and Matt Kenseth brought all the 60,000 plus here tonight at Richmond to their feet, watching that 3-wide race for the lead. And we're not done yet. 5 laps to go. Advil presents NASCAR Racing from Richmond on TNT. Brought to you by Just for Men. More than hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Ends gray in 5 minutes, looks natural. Miller High Life, to live simply, boldly, proudly, manly. This is the High Life. And Carfax, buying a used car? Get a Carfax Vehicle History Report, ask your dealer, or go to Carfax.com.
Like the manly part in that Miller commercial.
Ends gray in 5 minutes. My kids can put it on you in 1 minute.
All right, this gets the Glove Save and a Beauty Award for the night.
It is. That is just...
Both of them.
I'm telling you, the World of Outlaws has nothing on that slide job.
There.
But, you know, Johnny did try and run Matt up the racetrack. You can, you know,
I'm not so sure he tried to run him up the racetrack.
Okay,
if he lost the nose a little bit, or if the back slid a little bit, so you're not going to give an inch this late in the race.
Ooh. I can understand Matt being upset, but it's 5 laps to go. The kid's trying to win a race over Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, I just don't understand why I was upset with Harvick.
Right.
I mean, Harvick is going for the lead while they're wrecking.
Well, I don't think Matt will really be that upset with it when he sees it on the replay.
I think he had to vent a little bit.
Yeah. Matt's been driving race cars a long time, and he knows it's just racing. So, I don't think he'll be that upset about it when all is said and done.
All right, they're rolling the field from where they stopped on the backstretch for the red flag. They're going to come around, open pit lane, and give them 1 to go at the same time. So there'll be a 3-lap sprint to the finish of this thing.
The great part about this is we get to see the restart. Now, you see how slow the pace cars are driving away. He's doing that for a reason, to make sure that all the cars have got restarted or pulling away evenly, don't get the field strung out. At the same time, tires are still hot. anything that's on the racetrack, those hot tires are going to pick up. So now the tire spin problem that we talked about on the restart could be even worse yet.
Yeah,
so we may have the same kind of restart we just had.
And Matt's going to be looking for that. I mean, that's his opportunity, is hoping that Johnny will light those tires up again like he did the last time and get an opportunity. What's going on down there, Dave?
Well, Wally, that's exactly Johnny's biggest concern. As I've said, voiced many things about the car throughout the evening. The last one that he said to the crew was, I'm going to buzz those tires. I don't like this transmission. So the crew has encouraged him to roll the car to try.
Whose is that?
What's that?
Who's missing a tire?
He may not like his transmission, but somebody doesn't like their tire.
That's a tire off a rim.
Off of Fidua. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so watch Sauter on the restart. He's concerned about that.
Hey, that transmission doesn't look near as bad as that tire does right now.
What is that all about?
He was involved in the wreck with 57 car Jason Keller.
He might actually get it scored for the lap if it crosses the line.
But here's the problem, okay? They get the one-to-go signal. They got to get a debris truck out there to pick that tire up and get it clear of the racetrack.
Well, glad you mentioned that, Alan. And look what's coming off of turn 4 right now.
They got it handled.
Seeing that
right there. Bye.
Okay.
You go this way, and I'll go that way.
David Green saying,
"Here, I got it. I got it. I got it."
Somebody just hit me in the door.
I know 8 tires is better than 4, but what am I going to do with this 5th one?
All right. The good thing, the tire's gone.
3-lap sprint to the finish. Single file restart. Lead lap cars at the front.
No, the adrenaline's not pumping now.
Tell you one thing, I'm nervous, and I'm not driving either one of those cars.
Belts are getting tight. A couple of deep breaths. Look in the mirror.
No, don't look in the mirror. Don't look in the mirror right now. Concentrate on the restart, and if if I'm Johnny Sauter, that's what I'm worried about, trying to figure out what I've got to do to get a good restart, maybe even choke up Matt Kenseth on it.
Got a slow car in the back straightaway. Tammy Jo Kirk, not sure she's under power. Don't know if we'll get all 3 of these laps green to the finish, but here we go. Johnny Sauter, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick.
Oh, Matt I thought Matt had a run there for a second on that high side. But
49 car turned off on the back straightaway at an opening for the rescue vehicles. We're under green. Kenseth outside. 2 laps to go. Matt Kenseth on the outside of Johnny Sauter.
Johnny's got to hold.
Can't do it. Kenseth has led the most laps tonight, 114 of the 248 that have been run. These last 2 might be the most important. Trouble behind him. David Stremmy's been scuffed up into the outside wall. He keeps going. We stay under green. We're on the last lap. Sauter with a chance to try and come back. Will he put the bumper to him in 3? Looking low. He hit him. Kenseth up the racetrack. Johnny Sauter's going to come through to the checkered flag.
Well, he wasn't upset.
He's mad now.
Kenseth came home 6th. And Kenseth is not done yet.
No, he's looking for
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Harvick, is that Harvick giving him thumbs up? Yeah.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, I thought Harvick was giving him the thumbs up. Oh, what was that?
Whoa.
Harvick is running interference for his Richard Childress teammate.
I will say this. My only opportunity, my only chance to win a Busch Grand National race with the Shell team and Joe Gibbs Racing, I led it into 3 and 4, and Matt Kenseth gave me the bumper and to win his first Busch race. So things kind of make full circle eventually, and he had to know what was coming there. I mean, he didn't wreck him, and he didn't try to wreck him. He just tried to get by.
What was it? Was that Rockingham?
Rockingham.
See, I remember that. Nobody told me.
Johnny's going to the old victory lane. They've moved victory lane here in Richmond. Or maybe he's just doing donuts. Who knows?
I believe the motorboaters donuts.
Is that Harvick? Is that Harvick and Kenseth's window having a talk?
Yes, it is.
David Stremme came to rest just past the start-finish line after his car lost a tire in that last lap bounce off the wall. agreeing to disagree?
Well, I'm going to go to that restaurant down the street this way.
Yeah.
But that one down there has got a special on chicken noodle soup tonight.
Discussing it, though.
I delivered that box of paydays down to your motor coach last night.
Johnny Sauter's second NASCAR Busch Series win in his 64th try. He won at Chicagoland 41 races ago. What we got going on here? It looks like the pit crews have intervened.
Well, it was all right as long as the drivers were talking and everything was civilized.
Tempers on a short track. And just think, 400 laps tomorrow night.
But that's what makes it so exciting. I mean, the fans saw a great race tonight. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better finish than this.
Dave?
And with Kevin Harvick now. Kevin, first of all, what were you and Matt discussing?
Well, the biggest thing is, yeah, everything's good. I mean, how many damn races has Matt won? I mean, there's no reason to wreck Johnny coming back to the yellow. And, the guy's my dang teammate, and I'm going to stick up for him. And, I just told him I thought it was a chicken, whatever you want to call it, move. And I'm not gonna let one of my fellow teammates get picked on. And, what I told him was he had it coming. So, good day for the, honey roasted Reese's Payday car, and guy's racing for his second win. Good job, Johnny Sauter.
Kevin, Matt had expressed on the radio that he didn't think you racing them into turn one together was the right thing either.
Well, you were
going for the win too, weren't you?
I guess he thinks he's the only one on the racetrack, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm so damn proud of Johnny Sauter. I can't hardly stand it, and it's pretty awesome. But me and Matt were just trying to discuss it over there, and I'm just so proud of Johnny. I can't hardly wait to go tell him.
All right, Kevin tickled about his teammate winning tonight, guys.
Johnny's finally made it to victory lane. The burnouts and the backwards lap around the racetrack and all the rest. And now we're going to get to hear his side of it. And our mobile command performance tonight, the winning pass. It was done with authority.
Hey, we've seen it at Bristol. We've seen it here at Richmond. Hey, this is short track racing, guys.
The bump and run. Kenseth ended up 6th, Dave.
Yep, and two sides to every story. Matt, tell us your side of disagreements, obviously, with Kevin and with Johnny, the way that he raced.
Well, I mean, I think Kevin was just sticking up for Johnny. But, Johnny's a great race car driver. They got a great car over there. They do a great job with it. And I thought I gave him a lot of room to race there. Toward the end, I got him a restart. He left the bottom, and he knew his car was out of control and drove in inside of me, and we almost wrecked. So I wasn't too happy about that. So I got into him a little bit in yellow, which I shouldn't have done. I should have never done that. And we went back racing. Well, Kevin hit me under yellow, of course, and then went back racing. I passed him again, and he just drove in the back of me to take the win. So I went to really drove in the back of him to take the win. I would have tried to pass him, maybe got under him, slid into him or something, but I went to drove over the back of him, and then Kevin wrecked me coming around pit road, and he's mad at me because that's his second win, and I've won more than that, so I should have got out of the way. That was it.
And did you feel teamed up on Matt?
I don't know. I mean, I just go out and race my own car as hard as I can race it, and I try to be as fair as I can. I thought I left him enough room. I know he's racing for a win, but so am I. I mean, we both got the same cars out there, both racing to try to win, so I thought I left him plenty of room. I shouldn't have got under my yellow. That was my mistake. But other than that, I thought I left him enough room. And, he run me over twice. And Kevin run me over twice for some reason. So it wasn't real great. Got our car all tore up for no reason.
All right, everybody going for it here tonight. Let's find out from the winner. Let's go to victory lane.
Well, when you're 25 years old and you get your second career win, you can probably expect a celebration something like this. Johnny Sauter started 30th today, the furthest back a Busch Series winner has ever started here at Richmond, and won the race. Tell me about the pass for the lead to win the race. Johnny, was it intentional contact with the 17?
Absolutely. Matt Kenseth thinks he can push me around. I don't know why, but I've been sick all week and just been behind a little bit, you know, driving triple duty. I drove a truck race last night, but damn proud of these guys. I mean, we caught rain, qualifying rained out. We was in the back, and got to thank Channel Lock. I mean, if people knew what we were doing this on for a budget, they'd probably crap their pants. But Channel Lock, Kelly Technologies, Mike Curb Records, you know, Dr. Pepper, everybody that helps this deal, and Chevrolet, I got to thank Chevrolet. They're a big part of this.
Was it a result of the 17 pushing you under caution?
Absolutely. I mean, my car took a while to get going on the green flag run, and it's been that way all night long. And thank God this Wagner motor was stout enough to pull me up. And, you know, Matt didn't have to run into me like that. And if he wants to race that way, we can race that way. You know, he ain't going to push me around.
Kevin Harvick came to visit you. What did he say?
Just said I was a man, and you know, me and Kevin are trying to win that owner's championship with 21 payday car, and those guys had a great run. Thanks to Kevin and all those guys, Butch, and you know, they let me go by there and get a good run at Matt, and just been a damn awesome evening, and I'm just so proud of these guys. Joe Shear, you know, he deserves a lot of credit for this win, and there's so many people I want to thank. Kerry Agajanian. It's unbelievable. I'm not even supposed to be here, so just to be here is awesome.
His team owner, Kerry Agajanian's been in the Busch Series for 10 years. This is his first ever win tonight. Alan?
Johnny Sauter in victory lane here at Richmond. Let's go back downstairs, Matty.
Scott Riggs entered Richmond, the point leader. Where do we even begin about your night?
Well, I mean, the first thing I got to do, I got to thank Ron Hornaday for continuing to prove that he is the most disrespectful driver on the racetrack. And that's where it all started. We had a good race car. You got somebody like him who thinks, you know, somehow somebody put him as the king of restarts, so suddenly he's got to do something spectacular on every restart. So his spectacular thing on that restart was to just run the 10 car up in the wall. So great job by him by proving how disrespectful he is and what a true coward of a driver he is, and doesn't know how to race anybody clean and really know how to drive a race car. And after that, you know, it was just downhill for us. But I don't think all the guys, they did a good job, never let their spirits down, never gave up. Had a flat tire after that, kept working on the car, and almost thought we were going to end up having a pretty decent finish, and unfortunately had another right front tire go flat there and trying to get in the pits, and then Mike Bliss is already having a terrible day. I think he's a magnet for bad luck, so I hate it for him too. But like I say, just good for the guys, to everybody here to realize and see just how disrespectful Ron Hornaday is.
29 tonight, 17 laps down.
Okay.
Do I sense some frustration here?
And we got 8 races to go in the season. Oh, this is going to be good. David Green, now the new championship leader. Riggs falling all the way back to 3rd as a result of his night tonight. 1 spot ahead of Ron Hornaday.
So those guys will be looking over each other's shoulder for the next few races.
Johnny Sauter with the win tonight. 2nd NASCAR Busch Series victory. 15th different winner in 2003. Casey Atwood, nice job. Lead lap tonight. David Stremme limping across last on the lead lap with that flat tire that he got, bouncing off the wall coming to the white flag. Jason Keller 21st after the late crash. And now the high number of cars who failed to finish this race. 17 did not finish tonight. Believe it or not, that is not a record at Richmond. And it's not a record for 2003 in the NASCAR Busch Series. We'll be back. What's going to happen next? Advil presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Richmond. Brought to you by Advil. For strong, long-lasting relief, advance to Advil. Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. And KFC. There's fast food, then there's KFC. I'm kind of hungry right now. A long, hard night's worth of work. BP, where'd you go?
Hey, it's been a long night. Let's go and see what Lord Elwes got in the catering tent to eat. Boy, this is the best part about these night races, going down in the catering tent. I don't see anybody around here. They usually got some ice over here. Let's see what we got.
Oh, no.
Lloyd! Man, where's the food?
I heard you've been doing everybody else's job tonight, so if you want something to eat, I guess you're just going to have to cook it yourself.
Come on down, guys. I'm cooking.
Oh, boy. The revised effort of Buffet Benny coming up. I can't wait to see what it is.
We're going to be eating at the hotel, I see.
Did you have fun tonight?
I had a blast.
What a wild race, huh?
Yeah, I'm just glad I got to sit up here and watch it instead of being down there in the middle of it. But no, looking forward to tomorrow. We got the Home Depot Chevrolet tomorrow, and Zippy's made some awesome miracle changes and make that thing a top 5 car, I'm sure.
So now tomorrow night, you can just think about, we'll be up here laughing at who you're mad at the end of the night, right? All right, Tony, thanks. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you, guys.
You have fun?
Absolutely, I always have fun.
It's good. Crazy race. And we got 400 laps of it tomorrow night with the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern. The Chevy Rock and Roll 400. We begin with Discover Card Countdown to Green. Point Break is next on TNT. That was the moment. Coming to the checkered flag. Johnny Sauter wins. Matt Kenseth not as happy. We'll see you tomorrow night here in Richmond.